And now a Christmas story from Melania Trump.
So today I will read the book, How Does Santa Go Down the Chimney? How does Santa do it? How does it work? Does he cinch up his belt or shrink himself down to the size of a mouse? Or stretch out like taffy and step in one leg at a time?
Okay, Melania, thank you. I think that's enough.
Maybe Santa can turn into fire, but probably not.
Melania, please, can you just...
Does Santa ever get stuck partway down and need one of the reindeer to give him a kick? Maybe Santa knows about the key under the flower pot, even thought nobody's ever supposed to mention the key under the flower pot. Does he flatten himself and slide under your door? Or does he slip through the pipes and come out of your faucet?
Run, children, just run and don't look back. This has been a reading from Melania Trump. Jesus Christ.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining me here for Talk About It Tuesdays here on Conversations with Taz. Chat. Now, having a bit of a chuckle at the expense of the Melania Trump. But there are some people who seem to be a bit fed up with the fact that Melania traumatizing those poor children. Hey, but it seems to be that Mac is a little fed up with the hypocrisy of Trump and his family and his administration. Take a look at this. We'll talk about it on the flip side.
There's been a growing call for Donald Trump to deport his own wife. And that's not shocking because you have her speaking today at the military toy drive sounding like this.
It's wonderful to join everyone here at Marine Corps Base Quantico, wondering why Santa asked me to bring him here today. This wonderful adventure is filled with Christmas sparkle.
There's been a petition circulating for the last couple of months that now has millions of signatures for Donald Trump to apply the intense scrutiny he's putting on his immigration policies on everyone else to his wife.
I'm a law-abiding American citizen, but they are deliberately twisting the facts and I feel helpless.
Why would she say that?
She has benefited from the Einstein visa, meaning when we allow extraordinary people to come study in this country and continue to work in this country, but she barely can read.
Through our cities, robots hold steady hands in the operating room, and drones are redefining the future of war. Operation humanoids, factory automation.
Wait a damn minute.
Every time you bring up her inability to read or her command of the English language, someone in MAGA is like, but she speaks so many languages. I speak 4 languages. Do you hear how I speak English? Sometimes I have an accent with some words and you guys call me out, like choreography and there's other words I say, but I can speak English and I can read, which she cannot do, and it matters because they lied and said she came here on an Einstein visa. The call is also asking to look into Melania Trump's parents, who are able to come through a process that Donald Trump is currently opposing. Alongside this petition, they're calling Barron Trump an anchor baby, which he is. And people like Maxine Waters have been extremely loud and vocal about this, saying he needs to apply his own policies to his own family. And we need to really look into what the immigration status of his family are. If I was Melania, I wouldn't try to read every day to the nation, reminding people that you are in fact an immigrant. But it goes even further because Donald Trump is also an immigrant. Like, he's the child of immigrants. And they're trying to remove birthright citizenship. And without birthright citizenship, Donald Trump wouldn't have been able to be president. It's very interesting to see that this petition has garnered millions and millions and millions and millions of signatures, especially this week when she was reading to children and they had no idea what she's saying. And then today she's reading to speaking to the military, and they have no idea what she's saying. So yeah, look within, Trumpy.
I want you to really think about something. Racists who have aligned themselves with the MAGA faction of the GOP love to say, this is America, speak English, speak English, speak English, but then want to turn around when it comes to Melania Trump and talk about, oh, she speaks 5 languages. First of all, who told you she speaks 5 languages? And which one of the languages does she speak well? Because this is a woman, as he stated in the video, that's here on an Einstein visa. What job has she had here? What advancements has she procured for the United States? Now, there are multiple petitions on change.org itself regarding her being deported. There have been some near misses on her and Barron having to have their dual citizenship, because yes, Barron has dual citizenship, or being deported, all of these things. Now, I said this on a previous episode of the Taz Effect. I'm going to say this again here. If this administration or through another administration, the Heritage Foundation is able to push through this aspect of their current mandate, the vast majority of this administration will be ineligible. Trump would not be eligible to be president. All of this legislation has caused Melania Trump to come very close to being stripped of her citizenship and deported. Also, Trump and his family stripped of their citizenship and deported. Let me remind you all, the origin story that has been sold to you and upheld regarding Donald John Trump Sr. and the Trump family is incorrect. They are not here because they thought that the United States was the land of the free and home of the brave, and they just have so much patriotism when it comes to the good old USA. No, the family came here originally to avoid conscription. They did not want to involve themselves in military service. Good old Deutschland said, fine, you're expatriated. Do not come back here. You're not allowed back. They didn't have the money to go anywhere else. They're here by default. And even when they were here for a very, very, very long time, they were not here legally. They did not take the legal routes to be here. They utilized what Trump, this is a Cliff Notes version, what Trump is fighting hard to get rid of. And before you go, why do they always, and y'all know by they who we're talking about, go after what got them to be here? It's because their families lie to them. Let's not act surprised. Their families lie to them. We've seen different iterations of these lies on social media, especially TikTok, since the COVID lockdown. We've seen children not know that they were Black, not know that they were multiracial. We've seen children believe that they are multiracial and find out that they're just good old-fashioned Euro-American white. Because mama got with a Black man who decided to step up. The Black man loved that child so much, it was like, oh yeah, you're one of mine too. And nobody told them the truth. So do you think that people are truly telling the truth about their heritage? Let's not forget that there was the $5 Indian roll. This is why they fight against the very immigration processes and business models that made a way for their ancestors, that made a way for them to be here in the United States. I implore you to look at how Ron DeSantis was able to be born here. I implore you to look at the lineage of Marco Rubio. And not only are they lied to, they enjoy lying to you. Because they want to scream voter fraud, election fraud, election fraud. Please explain to me how Jank and Rafael Cruz keep throwing their hats in the ring to run for president. Because they don't qualify. What is the point of taking up space? And nobody ever calls them out on it. Huh? But in regards to those, they're calling for her to be stripped of her citizenship and deported. Immigration activists and critics of Trump, various online petitioners, and a lot of these online petitioners are not disclosing where they stand politically. So I'm going to gather from those context clues. These are Republicans, whether MAGA, whether Birchers, whether whatever, because there are still some Tea Party stragglers out there. They don't want to be outed quite yet. But I'm going to remind you all, the GOP has never had respect for Trump. The GOP has never wanted Trump around. This is why when the voting is private, it never goes how he wants and needs it to go. Ever. Shout out to Frozen Age just pulled up on her. The popcorn would be flowing. Now, Supreme Court seems likely to back Trump's power to fire independent agency board members. Now, I'm going to say this. Share this with your friends. If you like what you see here, number one, bring a friend back with you when you come back, okay? But I need people, first of all, sometimes y'all need to shut the fuck up. Sometimes y'all are too quick to get in comment sections and jump into conversations and say shit when you have barely read a headline and didn't comprehend a damn thing about the headline alone, let alone getting into the meat and potatoes. Now, I pulled this story for a reason. I didn't put it into the Taz effect because I needed to use some colorful language. Okay, and before 8 o'clock on GCPR radio, we can't use certain language, and I respect that, and I try my best to adhere to the rules. Okay. But during my Big Brother show, the morning show, Sound of Coffee, make sure you check it out, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday on GCPR radio. Somebody was like, oh, well, SCOTUS is about to give Trump the ability to fire independent government. I want you to listen to that again. And I said, no, that's not true. Well, that's what I read. Thank you for showing me that you don't have any fucking working brain cells. And excuse my language, but I'm pissed off. I'm irritated. I work diligently, daily, to try to educate full-grown adults because I know this country goes above and beyond to try to keep us stupid, not ignorant, stupid. And I'm trying to at least replace your stupidity with ignorance and hopefully propel you to remedy your ignorance. But we are in a technological age and you're not even using what's literally at your fingertips. How were we more educated when you had to have transportation to go to a library, understand the Dewey Decimal System, be able-bodied and able-minded enough to travel throughout the multi-levels of most libraries to get information, to siphon through encyclopedias that may or may not be up to date? But now you don't even have to tap. You can just speak and the information can pop up to you and you still refuse to learn, but you think that you have the answers to everything while simultaneously, like a fucking 5-year-old hopped up on sugar on Christmas Eve, think that you have all of the solutions. You make the center of my soul and my ass itch. So let's get into what's really going on. Supreme Court seems likely to back Trump's power to fire independent agency board members. The Supreme Court on Monday seemed likely to expand presidential control over independent federal agencies, signaling support for President Donald Trump's firing of board members. The court's conservative majority suggested it would overturn a unanimous 90-year-old decision that has limited when presidents can fire agencies' board members, in part to ensure decision-making free of political influence or leave it with only its shell intact. Justice Brett Kavanaugh, yes, the rapist in black robes, said the crux of the issue is that the officials who direct the agencies are exercising massive power over individual liberty in billion-dollar industries without being accountable to anyone. And here lies the problem. Here is the conundrum. If you're saying that the people who are put in place as a part of checks and balances, who there are people to check over them and to make sure that they do what they're supposed to do, have all this power, why do you want to consolidate that power onto Trump, who has been proven not to do well with power? Nothing to add. I also need to learn how to, even if you don't want to go through the court transcripts or whatever, wait for someone to give you a proper synopsis. And I need you all to remember what's in the Constitution. And if you're not sure what's in the Constitution, I say this damn near daily. It is never too late to learn something. Look it up. Get a copy of the Constitution. Bookmark a copy of the Constitution. Okay, everybody doesn't have, even if somebody has it on sale for $3. Some people don't have the $3, and that's fine, but you're already paying for access to the internet. Go through, there are tutorials, there are breakdowns. Hey, reach out and ask me if you have to. But a lot of you all are thinking that SCOTUS as a whole is just selling out the American people, the citizens and residents of the United States, in favor of Trump, when you're not paying attention to how things are being presented to the court and the fact that they are, for the most part, sticking to statutes and constitutionality. You don't understand the order of operations, and you're going by talking points and what sounds salacious. This is why you're aligning yourself with the people that say every fucking news story that comes out is breaking news, and people telling you nothing more than a damn headline and then going, subscribe to my Substack for a full breakdown of what? Of what? Please explain to me why you are paying someone to tell you what you're going to find out anywhere in a few scrolls. Sabrina, hey, bark butts. I would truly like to know that. Like, yes, I am extremely irritated tonight. And I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. Let's put a pin. Let's put a pin in the regularly scheduled programming. Because yes, do I take a lot of time to get things right and go through things? And even if I have to push things over to another show, do individual videos to get you the information, I don't have a problem doing it. But I'm pissed off. I'm thoroughly pissed off. Number one, non-black women, sit down, shut the fuck up. Nobody's trying to replace you, so stop trying to replace us. Nobody is in competition with you. We are all great individuals, and guess what? Nobody can be a better me than me, just like nobody can be a better you than you. There is no competition between us. We cannot outdo each other in being our fucking selves. And what do I mean by that? If someone who looks like me comes and goes, hey sis, this is the correct information, take it. Don't fight back and forth. 2, stop making yourself look like a brain-dead buffoon sprinkled with dilapidated incel. Because you want to act as if you've got the drop on information and you're saying shit showing that there's nothing firing behind your eyes. Today alone, I counted 15 instances where somebody wanted to show, specifically a black man, that they were smarter than a black woman and were saying the most fucked up, ill-informed misinformation and disinformation bullshit I have seen in a while. If you want to suck his dick, he's a simple ass man. Just say, hey, sir, can I have a bowl of dick? He'll give it to you. He'll give it to you. Also, stop platforming non-women and non-melanated folks that sit and take notes from our platforms to tell you the stuff we've told you 101 times. Stop falling for people, white people, going, oh, I lost an account because I was just talking about Black history and how white people aren't shit. They're not getting mass reported. White people may not like their content, but white people who don't like their content will scroll on or they'll do a couple times. They are not fucking mass reporting them. Another thing, stop fucking talking about Dean. Stop giving him attention. His content isn't real. He sat up there crying over Charlie Kirk after taking meetings with Charlie Kirk. I don't know why y'all think that he's instantly liberal after still living with his conservative parents. I need you to think. I need you to ask yourself why you never see the fucking people that he's talking to. Why would he invest in all of this fancy podcast equipment to talk to people you can't see, to have a back and forth with people you can't see? And he has this controversial take with this person going, yeah, tell me why pedophilia is wrong. And he's like, I don't know what to do. You gonna tell me this motherfucker who can't buy a legal drink is prepared for every other diabolical scenario but that one. Now everybody's no longer talking about him boo-hooing over Charlie Kirk, but now this. Somebody you don't have a face for. And he never questions the person, never says anything. He goes on a diet. He's too shook to stop the conversation, but he's not shook enough that he can start talking about MAGA talking points. What the fuck? Y'all will create everything else into a damn conspiracy theory, but when they serve you flaming hot bullshit, you won't. You won't say anything. And finally, and probably most importantly, if somebody who follows you doesn't know about me until they come across me promoting and marketing me, stop following me. Stop telling me that I'm underrated. As a matter of fact, don't tell anybody on GCPR radio that any of us are underrated. Because in droves, if you can share every fucking thing else and you can recognize what's real and what's not, Why are we fighting to be seen? Every day, I kid you not, about 20 to 25 times a day, I am told about or sent content that I have already covered in depth. And I recognize and I understand that everybody's not going to see every bit of content that I put out. But one would think, if you know what I do, you would check to see if I've covered it before you send it to me. And you're sharing people who skim the surface and who fearmonger. I am not going to sit here and take you all on a weight loss journey. I'm not going to sit here and start doing get ready with me. I'm not going to sit here and go through a skincare routine. I'm not going to sit here and do a full fucking face of makeup and show you how to curl my hair in order for you to take me seriously on what's in my damn wheelhouse, especially since we're sitting here going, we as women and we as femme presenting individuals shouldn't have to fit into a box to be heard and respected. So, am I hurt? Am I frustrated? Yes. I get to sit and try to help women and femme presenting individuals every day who come to me to tell me how their boss is stealing their ideas and getting ahead and how they're getting overlooked. And these same individuals will tell me how this person says it so great. I go and look at their content and I promise you word for word, bar for bar, they're telling you what I've said, how I said. The only difference is this heifer slapped on some lip gloss. And I'm like, damn, I guess we stopped being girls. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, I don't expect anything from the communities that I'm from. Yes, the fuck I do. I do. Say I'm wrong all you want to, but I do. Because we know how hard the world is for us. I know how hard it is for women. I know how hard it is for Black people. I know how hard it is for the LGBTQIA plus community. And I am a triangulation of all of these things. So I'm not going to sit here and go, no, I don't expect Black people to support me. The fuck if I don't. I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't hurt to see Black people flooding to the comment sections of lily white motherfuckers trying to tell a Black person what it means to be Black in the United States, existing on this floating third rock from the sun. I'm not going to sit here and act like it doesn't fucking hurt to see women praising men trying to explain how to navigate the world as a fucking woman. I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't hurt to watch straight people try to tell folks how to be queer, gay, lesbian, etc. And LGBTQIA plus is in their comment section. Absolutely the fuck not. Absolutely the fuck not. You get up and question every day how we got to where we are and why we can't fix it and why we can't get equity. It's because you want everything to either be a game, bring comfort to you, or bring entertainment to you. Jamil Hill on Threads started quite the dialogue, stating that she's noticing the hate for Jasmine Crockett beginning to have an uptick now that Jasmine Crockett said that she's throwing her hat in the ring for a Senate race. These same people who Jasmine should run for president, Jasmine Crockett for president, blah, blah, blah. You say it, but you don't fucking mean it. And I said, the world wants our advocacy. The world wants us to be a shield. They don't want our leadership. And they don't want our leadership because they want to cosplay who they think we are in order to lead us. Like the late, great Cicely Tyson said, we as Black women are relegated by force to the underrungs of society. And this is why you really don't support us unless you want to fuck us. And even then, you don't want to take us seriously. You'll proclaim that you do while instinctively trying to work on sabotaging everything that we have. The loneliest, most heartbreaking creature to be on this planet is a Black woman. Because you rarely have someone that will listen. You rarely have a shoulder to cry on, because the moment that you show any weakness, that's all they will ever see in you ever again. But if you show too much strength, there will be no one to protect you but you. You are the perpetual equipment that people forget exist. Because generally when people talk about the Black community, they're referencing the men. And this is why I hold true, even though she's not a Black woman, to a quote from Ginger Rogers, because it is true. She said that she had to do everything backwards and in heels that Fred Astaire did. Now imagine being Ginger Rogers and nobody ever saw you. All they saw was Fred Astaire. That's being a Black woman. That is being a Black woman. You didn't want to vote in a Black woman as the commander-in-chief for the United States. You all kept saying she's not ready, but she's not strong enough, but she's a war criminal. But then when shit hit the fan, instead of holding the white man and all of his cronies responsible, you wanted her to some way, somehow fix things from outside the club. You all went on one hell of a campaign to get Black women removed from their positions, from their careers this year. And as shit started taking a downward turn, you wanted these Black women to come back and for free, without being officially rehired, fix it. You tell your children, if they get lost, if they get separated from you, to find a Black woman. But as soon as you see your child near a Black woman, it's off with our heads. Hmm. And we're going to get back on schedule and back on track after I say this. It always wants to be pointed out that new money black men want to leave the black woman behind and get them a white woman they feel like they've made it when they get a little coin. I want you to ask yourself why you focus on that. Why do you focus on that? Not the time frame of when people have been together, not if they were beneficial, and not the fact that most billionaires choose to be with a black woman. They find the black woman more beneficial when they actually have wealth, sustainable wealth. See, one thing, on the extreme ends of the pendulum, people want a black woman. Men who are extremely poor want a black woman because they know that she can make a penny holler. And wealthy men want a black woman because they know that black women know what's truly valuable. And black women aren't wasteful, amongst other things. But ask yourself why you choose to focus on when black women are put to the wayside and nothing more. Hmm. All right, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Some of you may be aware, most of you probably aren't. Trump had a ban on wind-powered projects. That was recently overturned by a federal judge. Tell me again how the courts are working in the favor of Trump. That's been true in the history of not a damn thing. Zelensky has rolled out a counter to Russia/Trump's peace deal. Zelensky said, we ain't giving up shit. We told y'all to come get it. You couldn't come get it. Russia, you can't even beat our grandmamas, which is true. So fuck what you heard. Fuck what you said. This is how this is going to be. And Trump, you said you were going to facilitate some peace talks. Get it popping. You're supposed to be the peacemaker. Make it a peace. Which is weird that Trump hasn't done that, seeing how he wants to make history in a positive way. Because, I mean, he's been making history. Just, I need y'all to keep in mind. Because a lot of times y'all hear advocate, activists, and you think that, oh, it's on the right side. No, they're activists and for the wrong side. Making history. Hitler made history. Stalin made history. Genghis Khan made history. Jack the Ripper made history. Ted Bundy made history. Now, to the self-proclaimed Somali Americans, or just Somali individuals that we know black, a good chunk of you all are Muslim. Trump and his cronies, they want domestic Muslim bans. Mm-hmm. But before we get into that, just as a reminder, so people don't think that I'm being facetious or being mean, to the we're not black till we need black people to come fight with us. Fuck you. You started this fight. You gonna end this fight. I didn't get into this argument. You did. Take a look at this.
Most of the people that we meet, especially African Americans, they don't even know their fathers. They don't even know their fathers. It was all of them, or most of them, were the product of one night stand. One night stand. They will tell you, I don't know my father. Well, who named you? Whose name are you carrying? Well, my mother chose his name for me. You know, I don't know. Is that what we want for our ummah? No. كلهم أو معظمهم أبناء الزنا. أبناء الزنا. Why? Because man, he has to give up the seed. And because the marriage will limit them, they will go from one to another to a third.
The black people just walking around saying we don't know who our fathers are. And we're just all created from one night stands. And every Somalian is married because co-parenting doesn't exist. Widows don't exist. The military doesn't exist. Merchant Marines don't exist. Oil workers don't exist. And assumptions don't exist. Because I'm going to tell you, for many years, as a married mother, I cannot tell you how many times I've had people come up to me and assume. But yes, buying into stereotypes and then adding your own verbiage, your own bullshit to it. But with all of that, didn't give you a seat at the table. Didn't even make you the tablecloth on the table. Hell, they didn't even decide to cook you up like a delectable Negro and serve you on the table. Governor DeSantis issues executive order designating the Muslim Brotherhood and CAIR, C-A-I-R, as foreign terrorist organization. Now keep in mind, the video that I showed you, that was taken by someone that's a member. But see, people like to focus on the Muslim travel bans and the fact that they are treating the religion as a race, as an ethnicity, as if there aren't people of all racial and ethnic backgrounds who are Muslim, but they don't care. They want you to turn on your own. They want you to give your support to them because they know that no matter how poorly they treat you, you're not going to blame them. You're going to blame the rest of us. You're going to double down to try to separate yourself from us when you fail to realize they see us all the same. And it's funny because the people who don't know who their parents are, and I mean parents, there are white people walking around right now that have no idea who their actual mothers and fathers are. And before you go, Taz, that's impossible. No, it's not. No, it's not. Do you know why Jack Nicholson stopped acting so many years ago? I know the original story, the narrative was, old age and there was nothing left for him to do. No, he was traumatized. That man did not know until the woman he believed was his mother passed away. And he found out, because, I don't know if you've ever had to bury someone, like actually handle the census paperwork, the death certificate. That wasn't his mother. That was his grandmother. The woman he knew all his whole life to be his sister was actually his mother. There are people who believe that their mother is their mother and she's really an aunt. She's really a cousin. The whole daddy went out to get milk and didn't come back, that was a white person thing. See, they think it's acceptable if he's a police officer, a truck driver, or a military man. Look into the statistics of World War I and World War II babies domestically. See, we talk about military men having children abroad and then children in their hometown. Nobody talks about the children that were had when, they went off to basic, when they were at Fleet Week, and all around the county that they're from. The original deadbeats were white men. It's just white people work hard to skew statistics. They're the originators of sending somebody up north or down south. And all of a sudden, a 40-year-old white woman who had been telling you for a decade and a half that she wasn't having no more kids, all of a sudden they got a miracle baby. Or they just force you to marry somebody that you can't stand. Yep, it was Jack Nicholson. And there's so many other stories like that. There are people that I know personally. One young lady, it wasn't until her mother passed away, and she actually, for the first time, looked at her original birth certificate, because the birth certificate that her mother gave her was like, oh yeah, use this for all that stuff. She found out was a fraudulent document. This young lady was 2 years older than what she believed, what she had been taught, and what was on the paperwork that she had. And her mother was actually her great aunt. Yeah. And let's not forget the amount of white folks that have children just for the sake of they don't want to be lonely. They have children to have someone to love them. And this is why they take everything so personally, because they had children for undying love and affection. There are white women right now on TikTok saying with their whole chest in videos and in comment section, I can't imagine spending my 20s finding myself. How the fuck are you supposed to raise a whole other human being and you don't know who you are? I need y'all to stop treating children like they're baby dolls. In raising a child, you teach them things. You help them find themselves. You can't help somebody find something that you've never found. And for the love of all things holy, stop assuming that a certain age just automatically brings a certain type of knowledge. Some of y'all are 65 and y'all don't know how to do what you would consider basic for other people. Now, some of you have heard about the human swastika at a high school. Now, most people are not surprised. And no, don't say, oh, it's the new administration making them feel comfortable. They've always felt comfortable. They've always felt comfortable. You're just now seeing it because we have more ways of chronicling it. And before, when those of us, the target of this shit, would tell y'all, you would have plausible deniability because it would be hard to prove it because we didn't have video cameras at our disposal, right there in our hand and different things. Now we're able to chronicle it. Most people are outraged and shocked because it was a school in California. I don't know why y'all think that because parts of a state or parts of a city or parts of a county appear to be welcoming and accepting that everybody is. You all look at Hollywood and you assume that Hollywood is welcoming and accepting because conservatives, regardless of the party they align with, are always talking about there's an agenda, the gay agenda, the black agenda, the yellow agenda, the brown agenda. Because people exist and people are creative and people have talent, and capitalism is going to squeeze them as much as they can to get money out of them. That's why people are shocked, because they really truly believe every inch of California is just one big kumbaya, one Coca-Cola commercial from the mid 1990s going, I like to see a world of hope. Fuck that shit. No, did y'all forget that in California there was a millionaire couple that owns water to certain parts of it that won't release the water? Did y'all forget historically how many times the National Guard had to be called to California because California didn't want to be inclusive? Like, y'all got so much smoke for Reagan. Did you forget where he started when it came to politics? Huh? What? Huh? Y'all think that they're liberal because a lot of motherfuckers like to get high in California. Not to sound disrespectful, but addicts don't give a fuck who they get high with for the most part. And you all are conflating addiction with advocacy. Motherfucker going, the LSD revolution, Woodstock, and, down in California, they had addiction issues. That doesn't mean that they weren't anti-black. That doesn't mean that they weren't anti-trans. That doesn't mean that they weren't anti-anything not straight. Yeah, they ain't never heard of Stockton at all. It's like people going, well, it was Branham High School. I'm going to need y'all to start Googling the names of these places. Let me drop a little knowledge on y'all. It's very rare that they originally named something after somebody who was truly making an equitable difference. It's usually a renaming. They don't really know the history of the person. They're just like, well, they're from the area or they seem popular. People really like them. We'll just do this so they'll stop talking about us being racist. But that's the only thing that they change about the environment. They don't educate these people about the namesakes of their schools. Now, in high school, my high school was the former mansion of the Hughes family out of Cincinnati, Ohio. We learned about it because the whole main hall was basically a museum to the Hughes family. Oh, they was some ratchet motherfuckers, okay? They did have some good qualities, but we knew what we were getting. We knew why we were there. If they could have kept everything under the most problematic family names, they would do it. Okay, these are people who enjoy telling you that slavery was so long ago, but they love reenacting and telling you about their connection to the same people who existed during the time of chattel slavery. Hello, can we get an amen? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The same motherfuckers who are card-carrying members of legacy organizations, sons of independence, daughters of the Confederacy. But slavery was too far gone. We need to let it go. Huh? What? What you say? Huh? It's heritage, not hate, for the Confederate flag that came about because of what? What war? And that war came about because of what? What type of slavery? Huh? Say what now? But we got to let slavery go. Just not everything else that took part around slavery, not the people who participated in slavery. Huh? What? Slavery was so long ago, but we're still gathering at the plantations. What? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Good saints. Good saints. How is it so far gone? And the slave quarters are still here. We're just renaming them and putting them up on Airbnb. What? What? Slavery was so long ago, we need to let it go. But we still want to take the children out to the cotton fields for a field trip to pick the cotton, to teach a lesson, right? Woo! Yes. Mm-hmm. Child. Child. But if you bring up the Holocaust, never forget. Don't tell any jokes. Don't tell any jokes at a concentration camp. How dare you ask if there can be a party at a concentration camp? But also, don't bring up there were black folks killed at those concentration camps. Don't bring up that Jewish isn't a race, it's an ethnicity, and an ethnicity can be an umbrella for a multitude of races. Don't bring up that Hitler hated black people more than he hated Jewish people. Don't bring up that Hitler got the playbook from Jim Crow and chattel slavery. Huh? Just make sure you don't throw a party at Auschwitz. But cry over a southern plantation burning to the ground. And as it burns, make sure you pull out all of your wedding photos and talk about how beautiful it was. And tell us how you got the idea from watching Gone with the Wind, child. Gone with the Wind, that was advertised in Technicolor. But most of the pictures from the beginning of the civil rights era, because we're still in that era until we no longer need to fight for equitable civil rights, I digress, are in black and white. What? Let us put the collection plate out and pass it around. Hey, Vix. Oh, really? We might need to sit down and chit chat about that good old last name of Hughes, Edo. They only want you to forget about what they can't be colorblind about. Let me run that back for you again. They only want you to forget about what they can't be colorblind about. Why do you think they always want to talk about, well, everybody's gone through slavery. Everybody hasn't gone through chattel slavery. And before you go, but white slavery is a term for sex trafficking. And if you're so concerned about white slavery, why are you defending Trump, Epstein, Maxwell, Diddy, 50 Cent? Yeah, I'm looking at y'all that are having a chuckle, going, I aspire to be that level of petty as 50 Cent. Let me remind you that it is obvious that 50 Cent sat on this information for years. So he is just as complicit. Not to mention, let's discuss his victims. He has been known to lay hands on women, especially women that he seemingly forced to procreate with him. He has intimately assaulted the mothers of his children, then publicly humiliated them. He has engaged in multiple times in revenge porn. He has body shamed women to the point where he has shown their unclothed bodies on the internet. When found legally liable for doing that to one woman, he ran to the courthouse and to his accountant trying to claim bankruptcy. He has taken advantage of Black families with great stories to tell, trying to make it out of poverty. He is a walking humiliation ritual. I need you all to think about how egregious of a person you have to be for a motherfucker to shoot you 9 damn times. He's not petty. He's a devil walking amongst us. Because ain't no damn way I could have concrete, solid information that someone is being tortured and I sit on it and wait. It's one thing, like the Epstein-Maxwell victims that have been speaking since the 80s and 90s and nobody's listening, but they never shut up. Even those that have gone on to the upper room, left information, left pictures, left handwritten accounts. He was silent. And he convinced others to be silent until he could have a petty gotcha moment. He sat on Good Morning America, grinning ear to ear while discussing the trauma of men and women alike. This is a man who made fun of Terry Crews, who sat bravely in front of Congress, discussing as a grown man with all the stigma that comes with it, being sexually assaulted in Hollywood. So excuse me. Yes, I realize it is my job to report the news. And this is why I say, I bring you the news in a way that you did not think that you could use, because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And I'm not always going to be fucking neutral, because I'm going to bring you the historical context and I'm going to let you know why you should be biased as well. I'm going to give you things as a card-carrying human fucking being. I don't straddle the fence. So no, for those that have asked, and no, I didn't take any offense by it. I will not be watching or doing a breakdown of this documentary. I won't be. During the trial and even before Diddy's trial, there was information that I brought up, and I introduced you all to different people who have worked in the industry, who have worked with Diddy, who have worked with people adjacent to Diddy. I have pointed you all in the direction of a multitude of things. People ignored it. And a lot of times people do ignore victims. A lot of times people like to gang up on victims because they think that they're going to get into a certain clique and things are going, like the money is going to roll in for them. Just like Jaguar Wright, who didn't feel like that she had her moment, so she decided she was going to make money off of lying and distracting, which is just as bad as being fucking quiet when it comes to these things. I know I'm not for everybody. I'm not trying to be. Hey, Chuckles. Thanks for joining. I'm not trying to be. But now, I will be the wake-up call that you need. I may tell you a joke. I'll even tell you you're pretty. And yes, men, I will also tell you you pretty. And don't get into that, but I'm a man. You can't tell me I'm pretty. Shut up and listen. Listen and really take in how it feels to be told this. Okay? Y'all with me? Watch me. Good evening, darlings. Aren't you especially pretty tonight? How'd you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? It's a special type of tingling when somebody tell you you're pretty. You think I'm going to deny you gentlemen that? You male presenting cutie pies that? I'm going to tell you that too. You deserve to have the butterflies fluttering all up in you. You deserve to remember that you can be a baddie too. Okay? Okay? Stop with this. I'm a man. I got a prostate. I can't. First of all, who said that as we got older, certain things had to change? When we were younger, we had no problem with somebody telling us we were good, that we were a cutie pie, that even if it seemed simple to other people, somebody telling us or getting excited because we learned something new. Why do we have to let go of that excitement? Why do we have to stop being excited because we got a new cup or a new organizer? Why can't we have that excitement? And why can't we tell each other that we're pretty? Who said that once we hit a certain age, we got to dress a certain way, we got to talk a certain way, we got to stop doing this, we got to stop doing that? Why? First of all, who the fuck said after kindergarten we need to stop having nap time? I think we would be a less stressed society if we still got nap time. And I think snack time should be mandatory everywhere. Everywhere. Okay? Out in the mall shopping at a certain time, ding, 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 snack. Okay? And people need jobs. Give that job to somebody where they just walk around and hand you a snack. Okay? Especially at work. Get a little cranky, get a little snack. Okay? I'm just saying. And I'm sorry. If you learned something new, tell us about it. Let us be happy. Let us pat you on the back. Let us high five you. Shit. Right. Why? And why? Why all of a sudden is coloring no longer a part of homework? Why is it no longer a part of reports and stuff? You made us learn it in school, at least till second, third grade. Then you're going to take it away from us. You didn't talk about it's an important skill to have to color in the lines. Okay, I bet you if I put together that fiscal budget with a little crayon, with a little coloring, little designs, make it pop, it'd be a whole lot better for everybody else. Okay, I bet you more of us would take trigonometry if it came with like a little coloring page. Okay, I bet you would like history a lot more if while you learning about Harriet Tubman, you could color in Harriet Tubman. Okay, like, little pizzazz, little razzle dazzle. Yeah, little chocolate milk carton with the straw. And not the new cartons. Bring back our cartons, okay? The sturdy cartons, all right? The cartons that, if you have a weird friend that like the plain that you could, mix a little bit together, and if you want to get fancy, mix a little strawberry with the chocolate. Maybe that was just me that did that. I don't know. And here's the thing. Businesses, stop with the pizza parties, okay? If you want to keep an Italian theme, fine, but we grown. Make it a lasagna party. Make it a manicotti party, okay? Make it a stuffed shell party. And if you're going to do a pizza party, you got to throw in pizzas from all over, okay? Give me a good Nepal. Give me a Detroit style. Give me a deep dish Chicago style. Give me some New York style. Hell, give me a Pennsylvania style. Put it all together in the break room. And stop letting Mary Ann bring stuff, because Mary Ann got 67 cats, and we don't even think that she has a bath day anymore. Absolutely not. Okay, just give her something in a baggie at her desk. Stop letting her come in the break room. Y'all know y'all got a Mary Ann. Everybody got a Mary Ann at work. Everybody got a Mary Ann. Even if you work from home, there is somebody on your team schedule that is a Mary Ann. Now, Mary Ann Might be a Mark Anthony, but I'm just saying they exist. Y'all know they exist. Now, when I worked with other people in corporate America, I had one. It was for a very short period of time. It is amazing how people will get their act together when you spray them with Lysol. Allegedly. Yes, an international pizza party. Because, I mean, look, if you're going to reward us with pizza, reward us with adult pizza. Reward us with something that we couldn't buy on our dime. Okay, don't bring me no Little Caesars. I can afford Little Caesars every day, twice on Sunday. You make it worth my while. Now, there was one company that I worked for, I will say, on payday, we got paid every 2 weeks. On payday, we got a 15-minute massage because they were bringing them masseuse. And when they would do, like, usually once a month when we had, like, a big meeting, they would cater, but they would specifically choose places that they kind of knew, like, the average employee at this company couldn't afford to go get dinner. So it was a nice little treat for us to have. Plus, we knew that they were getting a discount, but even still, like, reward me with some shit that I couldn't go buy. Other than that, give me the fucking cut of what you was going to spend for me to eat anyway. And y'all sitting there trying to cut one slice of pizza in half. Bitch, I'm still eating the same amount. Yeah, stop doing that. Y'all are not saving money by, like, going to get bacon and cutting it in half. Your family knows that you're doing, so they're just picking up 2 pieces, which is the equivalent of 1. You're not saving money. You're just making more work for yourself. Stop. That's not how you. That's not how that works. Okay, that's not how none of that works. Mm-mm. Now, I do, out of pure curiosity's sake, my curiosity is, I got to stop falling prey to my curiosity. But it's me. It's not going to stop anytime soon. I want to try the Pennsylvania pizza where, like, they cook everything but the cheese. They put cold cheese and toppings on top of the pizza. Now, some people say it's good. Some people say it's not. I think it could work. But I feel, do I want to go all the way to Pennsylvania to try this? No. And as many times as I've been to Pennsylvania, I didn't know about it until TikTok. But I feel like if I make it, I'm going to Tazify it. So I don't know how authentic it's going to be. But am I worried about somebody from Pennsylvania, like, having beef with me because I messed up they weird coal miner pizza? No. Because deep in my heart, do I think people from Pennsylvania can fight? Also, no. So now watch people from Pennsylvania get in the comment section overnight. Bitch, I'm gonna whoop your ass. I don't read the comments after I post over here on YouTube, so have at it. You better catch me live if you want me to read that shit. Okay, I'm confused too, but this is how it was explained to me, Tristina. Now, one person I saw with the pizza, they claimed that they walked right outside after they got it. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. Now, the whole concept was for people working in, like, coal mines, et cetera, stuff like that in the mines. So that they could pick up something, like, on their way to work or whatever. And by the time it was lunchtime, everything would kind of, like, be cooked together. Like, it would be melted and it wouldn't be, because, you know, sometimes you get cheese, like pizza or whatever, and you take a bite into it and, like, all the cheese goes with it. And then you just have the bottom of it. So you have the warm pizza and then you put the cold cheese on there. So I guess in the box, it'll, like, slowly melt over a period of time. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking the concept is. But I'm wondering if it's something. Okay. This is probably, maybe it won't sound ghetto to y'all. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this is ghetto or not. I don't know if we're ingenious as kids or weird. But okay, at my granny's house. Now, my granny and papa had more money than my grandma and granddaddy. My mom's parents had more money. Okay. So sometimes, like, if my parents were on vacation in the summer, we would go hang out with my granny and papa. Just because at my grandma's house, there was way more grandkids and there was a bigger opportunity for people to slip out and do stuff. Not me, because I wasn't putting that much energy or effort into shit. Same now. I'm not doing all that. But my granny used to get, like, the little frozen, like, round pizzas. what I would do, and it's probably the same idea, same concept, is I would like heat them up in either her convection oven or the oven. I know they said to put it in the microwave. I'm not doing that stuff. I like crispy. Putting stuff in the microwave just makes it gooey to me. But then afterwards, after it was done cooking, I would sprinkle cheese over the top, but I would let the cheese melt a little bit before eating it. So I think that's like the same concept. Now there were a couple times that I took two of those, put like a couple. Oh my God, this is so good. Like one time, heated up two, got them real crispy. Put Swiss cheese, provolone, and pepper jack on top. Took the other pizza, flipped it on top of it, and made like a pizza. And made a pizza sandwich. And no, I've never been chunky. I've never been a plus size Betty. Shocking. I've tried my whole life. But yeah. And then that worked out so well that the next day, and I remember my papa came home from work early. I don't know what he was doing because he was there like before the clock hit 12. And I don't know why. I guess this was my brunch because I had fed my brothers or whatever. I don't know why. We went to our granny and papa's house to be babysat, but I was the one left in charge of watching everybody and full on cooking. Okay, like full on in the kitchen cooking. But anywho, and no, I wasn't a teenager at this point. But they had roast beef. So then I did Swiss roast beef, provolone, some smoked turkey, pepper jack, and then another piece of beef. Yes, I've always like just been in the kitchen, just let's see what works. That yeah, in Kentucky, I had a non-traditional air fryer, which was like a rotisserie and everything else. Unfortunately, my cousin, while I was up in Chicago for this time last year, cooked something in that air fryer, just left it. And I mean, left it to the point where it molded so bad in there. I'm still pissed about that. But yeah. You said that. Thank you, Edo. But you know, that's me. That's some of my best recipes are stuff that I have literally dreamed about and then was like, how can we make this happen? And then some things came from TV shows that my kids were like, do you think you could make that a real thing? Like, I don't know if y'all are familiar with the show iCarly when they were doing the spaghetti tacos. Yes, I've made spaghetti tacos for my kids. Because yeah, you're not gonna make it happen one way or the other. And no, I didn't make it in the way that you would think. Now, for me, how I like spaghetti, I generally make a salad with spaghetti. Don't know. I don't make fish or anything else to go with spaghetti. I did not know that that was a thing till social media. I did not know that y'all was out here doing that shit, and I don't see how that goes together. That sounds like some pregnant shit, but okay, whatever. Or you got way too high. But I like to make like a bowl of like a salad bowl. Toss it in. I prefer Italian dressing, and then I'll put like noodles. And I don't mix my noodles with the sauce. I do noodles and then sauce on top, and then I put my sauce on top with some shredded cheese because I love cheese, and then a little dollop of sour cream. Italians, don't come for me. I didn't say I was making Italian spaghetti. I said I was making Taz spaghetti. Okay, I'm making Tazzetti. I need it that way. So when making the spaghetti tacos, I would chop up the noodles and do like a base with the noodles just to give a little buffer on the shell. The spaghetti sauce. Now, in my spaghetti sauce, I usually, of course, some sun-dried tomatoes, some mushrooms, some peppers. You know, I like to load it in there, okay? I like to make a full meal out of everything. So that little cheese, little dollop of sour cream, crunch, crunch, there you go. So yeah. Spaghetti tacos, yeah. Spaghetti, yes. We like that. But we have definitely gone over time. But thank y'all for hanging out. Tomorrow night we will I think we'll be finalizing the Kirk conspiracy series and getting that all over and said and done, starting at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Hey girly pop, sit down. You just bumped the iPad over here. Sit down, you're fine. But as always, thank you all for joining me here at each one for each one. I will see you all bright and early in the comment section of The Sound of Coffee, and then again at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central for the Taz Effect. Y'all be good, or at least good enough not to require bail, at least till the end of the year, because they ain't gonna let you out. All right? All right. Y'all be good.